Hey everybody, this is Michael Merriman. I'm coming from the platform Let's Start Something. If I haven't told you, or if you haven't seen any of my videos, Let's Start Something is about a conversation. The conversation is supposed to help the community get informed about what's going on, at least in my city, Phoenix, Arizona, and all around the surrounding cities like Glendale, Tempe, Mesa, Happy Valley, Chandler, Goodyear. What am I missing? Coolidge, Apache Junction, definitely Apache Junction, right? No, so anyways, here in my community, I haven't been outside this community in about, I don't know, maybe 3 years. No, about 2.5 years. When I had a job in Mesa, before the pandemic hit, and then I kind of had to take off from that job. For one, I was all spun out because some guy I was working with got me high. I sat in a truck with him all day for 12 hours, and what was I going to do? I was already strung out on fentanyl, which I thought was Percocets when I first started them, but I guess not. So that's kind of my focus, right? My job here for Let's Start Something is about opioid addiction and fentanyl blues, right? If you go to the DEA website, you'll find out that fentanyl was created back in 1959 by the U.S. They were patches and they used them for pain. What ended up happening though is people were cutting them and they're put them in their mouths. They'd suck on them, get a little buzz from that. Eventually, they moved from that. They kind of evolved. Now people can, if they know the right sources, can get the powder or the fentanyl straight itself. But here on our streets, fentanyls, the fentanyl that they use the most are called blues, right? They're a little blue pill with an M on them. Okay, people smoke them on tinfoil, or they'll snort them, or they'll try to take them intravenously through their veins, or they can eat them. Either way, the problem with this drug is it's about 100 times more potent than morphine. Okay, and morphine was created for pain, and it works very well given how it's taken. It actually helped me get off of my painkillers and get away from opiates. So I'm happy for that. I got a long road to go, though. I have another surgery or two, maybe August or September, and I'll be back on my feet by December. So let's start something, the conversation. I create a video, right? I got a friend of mine named Shannon. We're going to talk with him. We're going to kind of interview him and see what's happened with him, right? And from that, I'm going to upload it to YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. TikTok is like 3 minutes long. They only let you do a little bit of stuff. I'll have to figure that out. But anyways, I'm using any social media I can to get the word out about this particular drug and what it's doing to our city and what it's doing to our community. I was on it for quite a while. I was homeless for 2 years due to the pandemic, due to my relationship problems, due to the fact that I was strung out on drugs and being stupid, and the fact that I got hit by a car. Kind of took me down a really bad road, and I got strung out on this drug. Now, what happens when you do opiates, if you've never done it before, you go from chasing the high to trying to survive, because your brain is no longer thinking about the high. It's thinking about, I don't want to get sick. And personally, I'll tell you, this is one area of my life where I'm a puss. If I'm doing opiates, I can't be sick. I won't let it happen. I'll do whatever I got to do to make sure that I'm not sick. And that's most everybody. I watched my oldest daughter go through it. My youngest daughter, her boyfriend was strung out on that stuff, and it almost destroyed their relationship. But thankfully, he's doing some jail time right now, and he's looking for ways to get better. And she's being his best friend right now, which is support he doesn't deserve, but he's getting. And same with me. I ended up being alone, absolutely alone. And that's why I'm really doing this, because I don't want anybody to have to feel or go through what I went through. It was severely painful and regretful, and it made me hurt really bad. But now I'm so happy that I'm doing what I got to do. There's other things I'll talk about later, but that's my focus. Now, the gentleman I'm talking to right now, Shannon, was homeless about 6 months?
About 2 years.
Off and on for 2 years, right? You were staying with your sister for a while.
It's been 2 years since I've been
Into any house.
Yeah.
All right. Without further ado, I'm going to ask him some questions, because obviously I'm a little bit off base. He's a veteran. He's a solid dude, and he's not a dopey, and he's never done drugs, and he's not an alcoholic. But he's coming from the standpoint of where he got abused and certainly beat up for his stuff. And I guarantee you, those people didn't rob him for a hamburger. It was because they needed blues. And that's how bad it is in this state and in this community. So I'll explain a little bit more about that. But right now we're going to talk to Shannon. So here we go. What's up, Shannon?
How's it going?
All right, tell me a little bit about yourself. Just what's happened recently.
Alright, well, since I've been homeless, I was buying electronics from people and putting them in storage and selling them on weekends. And well, I got beat for them one night, and they left me black and blue and all busted up and left me for dead on the side of the freeway, the Black Canyon Freeway. They left me for dead. Some guy found me when he stopped to take a leak, found me bleeding, and he rushed me to the hospital.
Thank God, right?
Yeah, thank God. Since then, I've been working on trying to get an ID and trying to remember some of my past, because I unfortunately lost some of my memory, because they didn't just beat me, they beat me half to death.
Right, and they weren't beating you up with hands or sticks. They used baseball bats, right?
Yeah, they used a baseball bat and cracked me over the back of the skull.
And when they found you, you were about naked or half naked, or what
Yeah.
was the deal?
They left me, I was in my underwear, and that was it. My wheelchair was about a half mile down the way. Don't know how they got that back to me, but somebody brought it back to the hospital to me,
Okay.
and I was happy for that, because I mean, I can't walk.
Right.
I was shot.
Let's give me a look-see of what your wheelchair looks like. Okay, you guys maybe have seen a wheelchair like this before. It's pretty sweet. It's got spokes instead of like I've got, and he's got nice wheels. It's pretty quick and comfortable. So, but he's got better stuff. He just can't get to it right now. It's all in storage. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked before. You're a 23-year veteran, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you're having struggles right now with the veterans, right?
Yeah. Because of what I did in the military, I can't say, but I'm now having problems getting any of my benefits.
Okay, which you're working on, right? We're going to help you find your benefits,
Yeah.
right? Well, I'll help you if you need any more help. Well, I'll help you with that. Since you've been here, you've been getting the help and what you deserve, at least for what
I've
you
been
got
getting
now.
all the medical help I need. Sorry, I also have anxiety now, so I have problems just trying to sit still.
Yeah, I can see that.
Unfortunately, they're still working on trying to help me with that, but I mean, that's one of the problems I'm working with, and just trying to get in touch with my family and everything, and they're trying to look. Well, they tell me that they have a place for me to go for when I complete this.
Yeah, but you need to get your affairs in order with the veterans, right? Get your benefits.
I gotta have an ID and.
Okay. Well, since you've been here, what is it that I've been able to do to help you?
We've been able to get me a phone, get me back online, and get me on a solid base where I can access my accounts to where I can do what I need to get back in touch with everyone.
Okay. It's been difficult for you, right? Because you have money you can't even touch right now, right?
Yeah.
Right. I know how that is. I know how that is.
Because of not having an ID or nothing.
Right.
And me not remembering what.
Yeah, emails, there's passwords. I know that.
Passwords and stuff.
Yeah, I've had that problem before. Like, I get a new phone or something all the time when I was on the streets the last 2 years. Some of my Obama phones, I trade them off for some pills. But the phones that I bought or the phones that I was able to acquire with my unemployment, the last phone I bought, it got stolen within 12 hours by a friend of mine who ended up dying from fentanyl, right? And so you might say that's silly. It's a friend of mine. Well, you have associates that you call friends, and sometimes they rip you off, and you got to call them on their shit, right? So that's just part of being out on the streets. But unfortunately, I'm tired of that crap. I want to get that cleaned up. So you're going to be a part of this organization. You're going to be part of this network.
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
Because I want to be able to help out any veteran or anyone that who needs to who I may benefit or they may benefit from my situation. Who might not be able to find out information on the military, or they may have information I may be able to get.
So you understand that's part of the idea, right? When I
Yeah.
say let's start something, we're starting the conversation. A veteran could watch this, or somebody who's close to a veteran that may be able to help you, and you
Yeah.
may be able to help them too, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, Shannon, how old are you?
I just turned 50 in January.
Okay. Where are you from?
I'm from Georgia.
And how was your lifestyle growing up?
Growing up, it was a simple life. My grandparents raised me. I lived down in the swamps. We had no TV.
Right.
We grew up just simple life, hunting, fishing, you name it. We killed furry, and what we killed, we ate for dinner.
Right. So most of the time you're living off the land, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So that's cool. That's honorable. So that was about 45. I would say probably about 40 years ago, right? 10 was probably around the time you got a gun in your hand and went to town, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just assuming that. I started at a young age. My dad put a gun in my hand way early. I remember the first time I shot a double barrel 10-gauge shotgun that was beautiful. Ended up getting stolen by some crackhead that I met through my ex-wife, Stephanie. Not her fault, just some piece of shit that really just wanted to take everything I had and he'd take advantage of me because I was a dope fiend. I was trying to stay clean, just bought a new truck. Everything was going right, but this guy, I met him, he was living in my apartments and kind of took me down a bad road. Anyways, I'm glad that you're sharing your story with me. The reason why my man here is in a wheelchair is because he was just, unfortunately, he was going back and he was about ready to get his 6-month leave, but his CO or some CO on the base told him he had to go protect him and his crew had to go protect a medical convoy. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And pretty much all of them got killed except some of you and your buddies. Is that right?
Yeah. There was 43 people that died that day.
Yeah, it's a tragic thing. Now, I wouldn't imagine that the U.S. government would ever share that information. That's probably a sealed incident. I'm just saying that that's what he went through. You were in a Humvee and you lost your legs, correct?
Yeah. They blew up my Humvee. They hit it with 2 RPGs. The other 3 gentlemen that were with me all perished. As I crawled out the windshield, I got shot 3 times in the back, which paralyzed me, and I woke up. It was about 3 months later in a hospital in Germany,
Right.
where I spent the next year and a half.
So how long ago was this?
This was in 2013.
Okay. So what?
October-
Almost 10 years, right?
October 17th was when we got ambushed.
Okay. So when you came home, you pretty much were self-sufficient, right? You were providing security services for people and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was working for a security company who I was helping to set up security details. Due to my knowledge of weaponry and tactics and everything, and my security know-how, I was able to land a position with a security company and setting up certain details for security teams and making sure I was the man behind the scene, giving the orders, making sure everything went okay, made sure nothing was out of place and everyone had to be where they needed to be at that particular moment.
All right.
Making sure every detail was done with perfection.
Right, no doubt about it. Since I've known you, I can tell that was kind of your deal. I mean, because you were raised right in the military. You not only went to standard boot camp. Where else did you go?
At 15, I went to Georgia State University, got a degree in philosophy. At age 17, I went to the Army's pre-program and did a year there, and then went straight from there to boot camp.
Okay.
Boot camp from there, and went over to Africa for 3 years. And I was down there when they got that movie Black Hawk Down.
Oh yeah.
I was actually down there during that time.
Yeah, you were in the city?
Yeah, I was actually boots on the ground there.
Oh, that's incredible. I didn't know that. Yeah. Well, praise God. Thank you for your service, Shannon. I really appreciate you. Now, so our future could be pretty bright, right? That you can provide any service that I may need for what we're doing, and then I can provide for your needs as well, I hope, right?
Yes.
Okay. So after meeting me and knowing me for a little while, is that something you think I'm going to follow through with?
I pray and hope for.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay, that's James back there. I'm waiting for his photo bomb. Okay, so as you can see, looking at this is the TV room where we live, but not a lot of people in there. But Shannon's my buddy. I wanted to get his story out there, and I'm waiting on. Well, this guy's waiting on me, right? Hey, what's up? Go ahead, tell me your name.
Lonnie Brown.
Lonnie Brown.
Waiting
Why are
on
you
a
here?
haircut.
Why are you here? Not just here in this room, but why are you here? Period.
Because I have major heart problems and I was homeless and they took me in and helping me out.
Okay, that's awesome. Maybe we'll get to your story later, but I just want to give people an idea of what I'm about ready to do. So I'll close this video out and just let you know what. Okay, so now you understand what this is all about, right? I'm trying to start the conversation. Now you can see from my man Shannon and my man back there, Lonnie, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I got to cut Lonnie's hair here in about a few minutes, but that's just a service that I provide here, not really a hustle. Sometimes I can get paid, sometimes I can't, and it is what it is. How am I going to get my cigarettes? And this is like my favorite drink on the planet, right? And I used to live off these when I was on the streets. I'd walk into a Circle K, QT, and I would just... Unfortunately, I don't drink water. That's just the way it is. I spent my last 5 years in DOC. I drank nothing but water and coffee. I had one guy come up and try to rub my shoulders after a workout. And he goes, ugh. And I'm like, what are you about? And he goes, dude, you're like a marshmallow because I got all that water in your system. And he was right. I drank about 2 or 3 liters a day because I was cheating, right? A little tidbit of information: if you drink a 6 to 8 ounce cup of cold water, you can burn about 90 calories all by itself. You don't even have to move. So I was cheating, right? Because I was trying to eat as much as I could, but it didn't work out. I ended up getting hurt because I wasn't gaining the strength or the muscle that I needed like I used to. Used to eat better in there than you do now, but I wasn't paying attention until one day I couldn't get out of the freaking rack. So anyways, I'll go ahead and put that down. Try to finish out this video. So from Shannon's idea, and Shannon wants a real sip of my soda. And he doesn't know how bad that bothers me. But anyways, I'm going to put a little bit in this cup for you, brother.
What was in that cup?
Oh, it's still in there? It was empty, right?
No.
Oh, no, I did. Yes, I did empty it out. There was coffee in there. You're good.
Okay.
You're good. My bad. Anything to fuck up this damn video. Sorry for my French. I'm working on my language anyways. Especially if I'm going to work with the public. So eventually... my plan is to start my own profit organization and have a network of people, especially clinics, hospitals, shelters, all that work together to have a computer system or a network where we know what you are, what you're doing, where you've been, how you're living, and if you're ready to get some help. It's really hard, man. I know all of you guys are out there right now, and women too, and girls and boys, if you're strung out on this drug, you need to find some help. And if you have a friend that's on this drug, don't be afraid to be the whistleblower, because you could wake up tomorrow and find out that your friend is dead. I promise you, this stuff is deadly, and we need to prepare ourselves for it. I imagine this stuff will be 2025, 2030 will be like everybody in this state will be affected by this particular drug, whether they're on it or not. It's going to touch them in some way, some form. If the mother doesn't die, the dad don't die, it's going to be the son, the daughter, and the grandchildren. Might even be the dog or the cat. I mean, what are they going to do when they wake up and their owner is dead from fentanyl, right? They're going to probably starve to death before they find him in the apartment or the house they live in. So that's just an idea to think about that, because listen, this thing is a killer, and if you're on it, you can get help. You can get a hold of me at Michael Merriman at onmail.com. That's at onmail.com, or you can reach me at Facebook. Look for the guy with the mohawk, and my name is Michael Merriman, but the guy with the mohawk, and behind me is medical equipment. I have had 3 or 4 Facebooks. I can't even get into them now because it was so screwed up when I created them. I forgot my email address and password, and one of them was hacked, and I just had to blow it off. So that's just another reason why we need help and we need to get off the streets. There are several people that are homeless now. We got what's called Tent City near Cass, and Cass is probably the most creepy, evil place I've ever been. Even before they did Tent City, I went to the one that was like on Indian School downtown, and man, I just felt like there was nothing but this evil presence there. And fortunately, they didn't want to accept me because I couldn't give them a clean UA, and I don't even think that's part of their policy. I think that chick was saving my life. Unfortunately, that day I lost my phone, the only phone that I was paying for at the time during the height of the pandemic. Either somebody stole it or I left it on the rail. Either way, I don't remember. So this is what we're doing. We're starting the conversation about homelessness, poverty, drug abuse in our community. It doesn't matter what drug it is. We can find you help, or we can get help. I would appreciate it, though, that if you know somebody, even a family member, don't get the cops involved, because all they do is make a bad situation worse. There's got to be a way that you can find out to get them help without getting in any trouble, because trouble, once you get into it, will find you for the rest of your life. Believe me, I did 13 years in Department of Corrections for just being a drug addict, and it really isn't worth it, man. And even though I did my best in there, I probably would have never got my right education or went to college had I not gone to prison the first few years. But nobody needs to do that in order to get help. I can help you through that process without going to prison. So please get a hold of me, Michael Merriman, at Facebook, on Facebook or TikTok. You can find it, Space76, I think it is, on TikTok. And I just created a YouTube channel. You can check me out there. I just loaded Stewart's video. I did an interview with him. Unfortunately, he was only be given like maybe 2-3 weeks to live. I hope he lives 6 months to a year. Excuse me. You'll find more about that if you check it out on YouTube. I have a channel there. Just look up my name or look up my email, michaelmerriman0@gmail.com. That's another one. But I appreciate if you get a hold of me. Get a hold of me at michaelmerriman@allmail.com, because it's dedicated for this purpose. So one more thing. Let's start something as something you can use. The slogan, the platform, I did not get this registered. This is free. This is, some might call this charity. I call it my civic duty. I plan to push this as far as I can until I'm in the box or in the urn, whatever I choose. So do whatever you can to help me, and do whatever you can to help yourself, and check it out. It's going to happen. I praise God for you, and I pray for your family. God bless you all. Have a good day.